Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be reborn at 40, 60, or even 70, while others die at 25? What separates a man who rebuilds empires from the ruins of his past, from another who drowns in his own excuses? The answer is not age, it's not money, and it's certainly not chance. The answer lies in what you decide to do right now. Yes, right now, because never listen carefully. It's never too late to become who you should have been. You may have made mistakes for decades, but you still have the power to rewrite your legacy with a single decision. And that decision starts with a simple question. Are you willing to act as if your life matters? If you're listening to me right now, then you already have the most important thing, the spark of restlessness. It may seem small now, perhaps stifled by frustrations, bills, or the loneliness of your own thoughts. But that spark, if fed, can become a fire that purifies, that burns away the old, that illuminates the new, and builds an empire. Now understand something. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to transform your mindset, to command your inertia, and, if necessary, to shake your soul until it wakes up. Because those who wake up with enough force on any given Monday are capable of moving the entire world in the next 6 months. You think it's too late because you've measured your life in years. I've learned to measure life in intensity, in focus, in firm decisions. And that's what took me from being the son of a traveling charlatan to the richest man in the world. It wasn't magic, it was method. It wasn't inheritance. It was discipline. And that's exactly what I'm going to give you here, because true wealth doesn't start in your bank account, it starts in your mind. It starts when you say to yourself, firmly, enough. Enough procrastinating. Enough playing the victim. Enough dreaming without taking action. Enough saying, you don't have time, because you do. You always do. I started working when I was 16, but I've seen men become millionaires at 60. And I've also seen young people squander fortunes at 25. The difference lies in the level of commitment to the present. And that's what you'll learn here with me. Not theories, but the art of mastering the present moment with the same precision with which one masters an empire. First, silence the noise of the world, the news, the guesses, the borrowed fears. They are thieves of your decision. Then, accept an uncomfortable truth. Everything your life is today was built or tolerated by you. There is no such thing as bad luck. There is a lack of vision. There is no such thing as definitive failure. There is premature giving up. At 33, I already controlled the oil market, but I did it without rushing, without fanfare, building brick by brick, negotiation by negotiation, because those who are in a hurry to look rich will never be truly prosperous. And here is the first principle you need to tattoo on your soul. The rush to look good is expensive. Patience in building generates eternal dividends. So, before looking for shortcuts, look for structure. Before asking, what's the secret? Ask yourself, what am I willing to sacrifice to be solid? Maybe it's laziness. Maybe it's the friendships that numb you. Maybe it's the compulsion for distractions. But whatever it is, you know what you need to let go of. You're just afraid to let go. But I'll tell you something. Nothing that is true will be lost when you decide to change. And everything that prevents you from growing will dissolve as soon as you take the first step. Now, pay attention, because here's the twist. You don't have to change everything today, but you need to start now. Whether it's with a pad of paper and a simple plan, whether it's with a determined prayer, or with a choice that says, enough, you're not too old, not too young, not too poor, not too broken. You're just someone who hasn't yet understood the extent of your responsibility for your own destiny. But I'm here to remind you, God gave you 2 feet, a mind, and the gift of now. Use them because, as I once wrote to my son, God created feet to teach us that we must walk with our own strength. And this walk, the one that begins now, may be the first step in the most powerful reconstruction you have ever experienced. Be humble enough to start over. Be strong enough not to stop. And be disciplined enough to keep going, even without applause. The question now is simple. Are you going to keep letting time slip away? Or are you going to decide that time starts today? If you feel that this was meant for you, just comment below. I've started. The decision to start is the first step, but what you do in the second step is what separates ordinary men from empire builders. Now that you've said I started, understand that your biggest enemy is not fear, lack of money, or age. It's distraction. Distraction is the silent thief of your purpose. It doesn't come screaming. It comes with notifications, doubts, false urgencies. And before you know it, it has stolen your vital energy to build. Wealth doesn't start with a great opportunity. It starts with the ability to say no. Say no to distractions. Say no to delays. Say no to things that look good but take you away from your mission. I've seen brilliant men fail because they wanted everything at once. And I've seen simple men succeed because they chose a path and followed it with blind faith. Choose one goal. Not two. One. Then make it a habit to work toward that goal every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Because when you work toward your future every day, it starts moving toward you. That's how I started, writing down every penny I spent as a teenager. I knew every coin counted. But more important was what I was practicing. Control. You don't need more money. You need more control. Control over what comes in, what goes out, what you think, what you feel, what you tolerate. Control is not repression, it's direction. And that's what turns a lost person into a respected man. Now, listen carefully. Because I'm going to reveal something that few people understand. True power comes from silent repetition. While the world chases after novelty, true winners repeat the fundamentals. While others get distracted, we train the basics. Write this down. Daily discipline is more powerful than momentary motivation. You don't need to be inspired. You need to be committed. And here's the key that no one wants to hear. The secret to success is tedious. Yes, it's boring. It's predictable. It's repetitive. But that's exactly why it works. Because while everyone else gives up in the first week, you stick around. Persistence is the new miracle, and consistency is the new genius. Now, let's talk about money. Because the title of this session isn't just about emotion, it's about practical rebuilding. If you want wealth, start by respecting every penny. Start by writing down every expense. Start by observing where your money slips away without asking your permission. An empire starts with a notebook, and with the courage to face your numbers as they are. Without fantasy, you can't multiply what you don't manage, and you'll never have financial peace if your pocket is ruled by impulses. Money likes direction, destination, order. So decide right now. Every dollar that comes in will have a purpose, even if it's just to save, even if it's just to donate. But never waste it again. And here comes another powerful principle. Stop living to impress. Most of your debts are born out of vanity. When you understand that simplicity is strength, you will cease to be a hostage to appearances and become the master of substance. That's what kept me rich. I never surrendered to luxury without purpose. I always dressed modestly. I always ate what I needed. I always focused on the essentials. Because a man who spends to assert himself is a man who has already lost the inner battle. Now listen. Everything you need to change your life is one commitment away, and that commitment starts with a routine. Do you want to transform your life? Then transform your mornings. Don't start your day running. Start by mastering your mind. Before your cell phone, connect with your purpose. Before the news, connect with your goal. Before your coffee, connect with your faith. I started my days with prayer and planning, and you can do the same. Your religion doesn't matter. Your ritual matters. A man without a ritual is like a boat without a rudder. he becomes prey to the wind. Now ask yourself, what is my ritual for greatness? And if the answer is none, there's your next step. Create it. Establish it. Follow it. And repeat it. Don't wait for motivation. Wait for results. Because what starts as discipline ends as freedom. And I'm going to give you a challenge, right now. For the next 7 days, wake up and write down your 3 priorities for the day. It's that simple. Write them down. On paper, with intention, and at the end of the day, review what you've accomplished. This will reprogram your mind for execution. It will activate your awareness of progress. It will set your soul in motion, and when your soul moves, no stagnation can resist. Now, I want you to understand what's happening here. This isn't just a video. This is a call to stop being just another complainer, and become the one who builds. A call to stop waiting for a chance, and start creating it. A call to stop looking for shortcuts, and fall in love with the process. You don't need more promises. You need solid action. And that starts with small, daily decisions. Remember the seed. It's invisible for months, but if you water it every day, it breaks through the soil with a force that no one can contain. You are that seed, and your moment to break through is now. But you need to plant it. You need to water it. You need to protect it. And above all, you need to persist, even when no one is watching. Because it is in the silence behind the scenes that the stage for true greatness is built. And now, I want to hear from you. If all this makes sense, if you are taking charge of your reconstruction, right below, I plant today. You planted today. Great. But now you need to protect that seed from yourself. Yes, because the biggest saboteur of your transformation is not the world. It is the voice inside your head, the one that whispers, "It won't work. You've tried before. It's too late." That voice is not yours. It was built by past experiences, by poorly digested failures, by hurtful words that someone once threw at you and you believed. But now you need to choose another voice. And you need to do this every day. Not once, but every morning, every afternoon, every night. Because faith isn't just believing in something greater. Faith is sticking to a decision when everything around you is screaming the opposite. When I started building my empire, I faced disbelief from all sides. They said oil was unstable. They said I was too young. They said it was too risky, but I didn't need them to believe in me. All I needed was to believe in my vision. And you don't need the world to validate you either. You need to validate yourself. With actions, with routine, with consistency. Now, I ask you, do you have the courage to keep believing, even when no one applauds you? Because that's what separates amateurs from giants. Amateurs need encouragement. Giants need purpose. And purpose, my friend, is the compass of those who build legacies. You may not know what your greater purpose is yet, but if you have a burning desire to grow, to help your family, to leave something greater than yourself, then you're already on your way. Just keep walking, and your purpose will reveal itself. Now let's talk about your mind. Because without discipline, no wealth can last. No faith can be sustained. You need to train your mind like a soldier trains their body. With rigidity, with routine, with repetition. When thoughts of doubt arise, and they will, don't deny them. Face them. Ask yourself, does this doubt move me? Or paralyze me? If it moves you, use it as fuel. If it paralyzes you, reject it as a trap. You are the guardian of your own mind. And a guardian doesn't let trash in. Be careful what you consume, what you read, who you hang out with, what you repeat, because all of this is the building material of your identity. And here's the truth. Your life will never go beyond your level of identity. If you still see yourself as broken, behind, or lost, that's exactly what your life will reflect. But if you start seeing yourself as a disciplined, visionary, strong, resilient man, then the universe begins to align circumstances, people, and doors for this new version of you. It's not mysticism, it's principle. It's mental direction. That's how I changed my destiny. Before I made my first million, I already thought like someone who deserved billions. And I lived like someone who respected every penny. Now listen to this carefully. Before life changes on the outside, it needs to be transformed on the inside. Do you want extraordinary results? Then start acting like someone who deserves them. Right now. And that brings us to the next principle. Wealth likes prepared homes. Are you preparing for what you want? Or are you waiting for everything to change first before you act? Stop that. Prepare yourself now with what you have. How you can tidy up your house, organize your environment, adjust your schedule, plan your finances, take care of your health. Do what you can, because God does not bless disorder. He blesses movement, intention, discipline. And this is where practical spirituality comes in. Praying is not just talking to God, it is aligning yourself with a frequency of responsibility. When you pray and act with integrity, you attract blessings. When you just pray and wait, you block the flow. It was this faith in action that guided my every step. And that is what will guide you too. Now listen to me carefully. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to see the next step. And take that step, even if you're afraid, even without guarantees. Because the man who walks, even in the dark, finds light. But the one who waits for the light to start walking dies in the shadows. So stop waiting and start moving. One action per day. One commitment per week. One new pattern per month. Be firm with your goals. Be kind to your mistakes. But never, ever, be complicit in your stagnation. The world owes you nothing. But life has given you everything. Time, mind, spirit, will. Use them. Honor them. Transform them. And remember, it's never too late to start. But tomorrow may be too late for you. You've already decided to plant. You've already declared that you've started. Now declare that you won't stop. That you will honor this calling. That you will rebuild, brick by brick, the life you deserve to live. And if you feel that strength growing inside you, I want you to comment now, as a personal pledge of responsibility. I won't stop, you said. I won't stop. Great. Now it's time to act like it. Saying you won't stop is easy. But true commitment is proven on difficult days, in moments when no one is looking, when enthusiasm gives way to silence. And all that's left is you and your promise. And that's exactly when the game changes. Because empires aren't built on days of euphoria. They're built on grey days. On days when everything seems the same, but you keep going. You keep going even without validation, even without guarantees, even without applause. And that quiet consistency is what separates those who live by trying from those who live by results. You don't need new ideas anymore. You need a system. And here's a principle that few understand. The simpler your routine, the more powerful it becomes. Daily rituals, repeatable processes, tested methods. That's what protects you from emotional swings. You see, emotion is a terrible manager. When you act based on how you feel, your productivity will be unstable. But when you act based on a plan of on days, when you don't feel like it, that's when you achieve the extraordinary. That's how I built the Standard Oil empire. Not with big leaps, but with extreme efficiency in small processes. I eliminated waste. I cut out excess. I automated what I could. I trained leaders with clarity. And above all, I stayed absolutely focused on the essentials. You need to do the same in your life. Stop trying to embrace the world. Stop saying yes to everything. Your time is your most precious resource. Protect it with military discipline. You want to change your life? Then start organizing your week like a general organizes the battlefield. Fixed schedules, clear priorities, focused energy. And learn this. Every distraction has a hidden cost. Opportunity cost, energy cost, time cost. Every irrelevant conversation, every notification you respond to on impulse, every task done without focus, is eroding your progress. And here's some straight advice. Protect your mornings. Like a treasure, the first hours of the day are sacred territory. That's where you plant the mindset for the entire day. No cell phone, no news, no noise. Wake up, hydrate, pray, plan, work on your goals with absolute focus. If you master your mornings for 90 days, you will master your entire year. Now, let's talk about something that separates amateurs from builders: data. You can dream, visualize, declare, but if you don't measure your results, you're just fantasizing. You need a system of analysis, a notebook, a spreadsheet, a tool. Something that shows you what works and what doesn't. Write down what yielded results, what generated progress, what was a waste of time. This operational awareness transforms you from a dreamer into a doer. That's what gave me the edge. I knew my numbers better than any competitor. I knew where every penny was, where every barrel of oil was going, where every delay could cost me dearly. What's more, I learned to correct quickly, because those who measure, correct. Those who guess, repeat mistakes. And that brings us to another fundamental principle: disciplined adaptability. You need to be strict with your mission, but flexible with the path. If something didn't work, don't play the victim. Adjust, correct, test again, learn, improve. That's how I survived crises, attacks, and political changes. Because, while others complained about the tide, I adjusted the sails. Have you been doing this? Or are you still waiting for everything outside to change before you change inside? Understand, the best operators in life are like engineers. They build, test, adjust, but they never stop. And now, an uncomfortable truth: no one is coming to rescue you. You are solely responsible for changing your story. And that is liberating. Because, if no one needs to rescue you, then nothing can stop you from rewriting your destiny. But it takes coolness, emotional clarity, and long-term focus, because everything you want will take longer than you would like. But it will also bring you much more than you can imagine. If you persist, do you want freedom? Start by being a slave to your routine. Do you want abundance? Start saving on the details. Do you want recognition? Start recognizing your own mistakes. Do you want leadership? Start leading your schedule, your home, your mind. None of this is glamorous. All of this is greatness, and greatness doesn't come with flashes. It comes with consistency. You need to become an operator of your own excellence. And that requires 3 pillars: clarity of what you want, consistency in building, even without emotion, ability to adjust quickly. These 3 pillars support any empire, from oil to personal life. Now tell me, do you already have this in your daily life? If not, start, and if you already have it, refine it. And remember, real progress is silent. It doesn't generate likes, but it generates results. You don't need to show that you're changing. You just need to change, and let the fruits speak for themselves. Now, if all of this makes sense to you, then it's time to take another step. Comment below, as a signature with your future: I operate my progress. You have declared, I operate my progress. So now you will understand what it really means to command your own transformation. No more superficial adjustments. It's time for deep alignment. Because real change only happens when mind, emotion, spirit, and action march in the same direction. Do you want peace? Then align your speech with your behavior. Do you want respect? Then align your promises with your execution. Do you want to grow? Then align your faith with your routine. Because nothing is more destructive than a man who preaches change but lives in stagnation, who says he wants peace but consumes war, who claims to believe but sabotages himself every day. This internal misalignment is why many live in cycles. Cycles of trying and giving up, of excitement and giving in, of optimism and guilt. But you can no longer afford to live in cycles. You need to break out, and the only way to break out is by submitting to a new pattern of internal integrity. Integrity is not just honesty with others. It is, above all, honesty with yourself. And here's a question that will hurt. How many times have you lied to yourself? I'll start on Monday. Just a little longer. It's no problem, I'll take care of it later. It's different with me. These whispered lies, which seem small, are accumulated poison. They are holes in the hull of your ship, and as long as you don't plug them, no matter how hard you row, your ship will continue to sink. Now listen to what I'm going to tell you with the same coldness with which I conducted my business. Self-sabotage is an unconscious form of self-punishment. You know you can do better. You feel you were born for more. But you punish yourself for old mistakes, for unresolved guilt, for failures that were never properly dealt with. And the worst thing is that you don't even realize it. You just keep repeating patterns, putting things off, accepting crumbs, hiding from your own strength. But I'm here to remind you, your soul is crying out for consistency. You don't want to lie to yourself anymore. You want to stand up with dignity, walk with integrity, sleep with a clear conscience, work with purpose, live with intensity. And all of this only begins when you decide to never again break a promise you made to yourself. It's that simple. If you promised to wake up early, wake up. If you promised to save money, save money. If you promised you would finish, finish, even if it takes time, even if it's tiring, even if no one sees it, because life observes, and it rewards those who live truthfully. Now let's talk about something most people avoid. Pain. You will feel pain. The question is not whether it will hurt. The question is, which pain do you choose? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret? The pain of consistency or the pain of mediocrity? The pain of silence or the pain of meaningless exposure? I chose to feel the pain of discipline, the pain of sacrificing pleasures, the pain of working when others rested, the pain of saying no when the world said yes, and that pain forged me. That pain strengthened me. That pain prepared me to bear the weight of responsibility that wealth demands. Because here's another truth. Wealth requires emotional structure. Do you want to prosper? Prepare your heart, because money will test your character. Freedom will reveal who you are, and success will attract false friends, external noise, subtle temptations. That's why, even as a billionaire, I continued to live a simple life. Because luxury without purpose dulls the mind. Fame without values corrupts, and power without spiritual roots destroys. So put down roots, in principles, in values, in an uncompromising faith. I put mine in God, in constant prayer, in a silent but convinced surrender. Because without faith you may rise, but you won't stay up, and don't confuse faith with religion. Faith is knowing that there is something greater, that there is a deeper purpose, that there is a mission beyond money. And it is this awareness that protects your soul when everything grows too fast. Do you want to grow? Great. But don't rush. The world is full of people who reached the top and fell. Because the foundation was fragile. I prefer to grow slowly, but last forever. Now listen carefully. You need to think like a builder, not a hunter. The hunter runs after the next prize. The builder works every day on an invisible structure until, suddenly, the castle appears before everyone's eyes. Do you want a life that impresses, or a life that sustains? Because if it's to impress, take the shortcut. But if it's to sustain, come with me on the long, steady, and powerful path. And when doubt strikes, because it will remember, you didn't start out on a whim. You started out with a decision. And a real decision doesn't need motivation. It just needs a reason. Do you already have your reason? Your family, your peace, your freedom, your mission? Then don't allow yourself to stop because of laziness, fear, or distraction. You've come too far to turn back now. And you still have a long way to go. But now, tell me with courage, are you ready to become the man who will see this transformation through to the end? If the answer is yes, declare it here, firmly and clearly. I will sustain my empire. You said, I sustain my empire. That means you're not just building for yourself. You're building for everyone who comes after you. Now, understand, true wealth does not end with you. It begins with you, but spreads to every corner your life touches. And here's what few people talk about. You will not be remembered for what you accumulated, but for what you generated. How many doors has your courage opened? How many lives has your discipline impacted? How many souls has your example ignited? Because that is what defines a legacy. And legacy is the final and most powerful stage of building true wealth. I have built empires. Yes, but nothing makes me prouder than having transformed capital into healing, wealth into research, heritage into purpose. Do you want to be great? Then start small and grow responsibly, because what starts with ego dies with pride. But what starts with a mission grows even in crisis. You can no longer afford to be just successful. The world needs you to be useful, relevant, present. It needs your steadfastness, your vision, your rewritten history. And now it's time to face the biggest question of all. Who are you building for? Because if it's just for you, your empire will be a sandcastle. But if it's for eternity, for your children, for your loved ones, then every brick will have a soul. Every penny will have a purpose. Every sacrifice will be multiplied. It was this vision that kept me focused when the world attacked me, when they called me greedy, cold, ruthless. But I knew what I was doing. I knew that while they accused me, I was building hospitals. I was saving orphans. I was creating universities. I was feeding ideas. True wealth is silent but relentless. It does not seek applause. It seeks impact. What about you? Are you willing to be that kind of rich? The kind that not only wins, but leaves a trail of transformation? Because that is my invitation to you. I don't want you to be just another disciplined person. I want you to be a guardian of abundance. And that requires 3 final commitments. First, commit to the truth. Don't live for appearances. Live by principles. Be the same man in front of others and when you are alone. Second, commit to the long term. Don't be distracted by fads. Build something that will last longer than your own life. Third, commit to the mission. Discover whom your wealth should serve, and serve with excellence, with dignity, with strategy. You are capable of all this, but you need to take it on. You need to declare it. You need to live like someone who has already understood that it's never too late. Because eternity begins now. You have 2 roads before you, the road of distraction and the road of edification. The first is wide, noisy, full of shortcuts, but it ends empty. The second is narrow, quiet, difficult, but it builds something that even death cannot erase. I chose the second. How about you? If you choose to walk with determination, build with purpose, and lead with vision, then comment now. I am legacy. This is your last statement in this mentoring program. But it is only the beginning of a new era in your life. Now, share this video with someone you love. Someone who also needs to wake up, start, persist, and build. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because this channel isn't about videos, it's about transformations that last a lifetime. True wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about what you leave behind. And now, it's your turn to leave your mark. Build, persevere, make an impact, and never forget, it's never too late. But now is the right time.